guys, John here. As some of you may or may not know, I did a video a little while back on a super ultra lightweight backpacking trip that I went on, and the response that I got from that video was very positive. I got a lot of positive feedback out of that, and I really appreciate that. The other thing that came about from that video was that it generated a little bit of inquiry into the gear in the system that I used on that trip. And I've been meaning to post a video for a while now on that, and that's actually what we're going to do today. I am going to give you guys a full review and show of this system that I used. So it's essentially going to be a, what's in your pack, John video. Along the way here, I do want to I'm going to show you a couple options in case you're looking into getting into super ultra lightweight or just reducing your pack weights. Hopefully I'll show you a couple things that may be good, useful tips for you. You may not be interested in going down to this super ultra lightweight 5-pound kind of, I guess, minimalist type approach. But if you can pick up a tip or two, hey, that's great, I'm not going to go too much into my personal philosophies on this system. If you would like to, hear more of my reasoning of why I wanted to go this route, you can refer to that super ultra lightweight trip video. In the beginning, I tend to ramble a little bit there on, why I went this route. I do want to say one of the important things of this is that this was a challenge to myself. I've spent a lot of time in the outdoors, from the time I could first walk. My earliest memories were in the outdoors. And I've been fortunate, to experience a range of, activities and experiences out there. And for me, this was just about doing something new, doing something different. And like I said, it was a challenge as well. And the cool part about it for me was using this pack system, this lumbar pack that I chose. The challenge was not only weight, but it was compactness and cost as well. Now, there's a couple ways to get into super ultra lightweight backpacking. Of course, one of those ways is money. You can buy your way into ultra low weights, or you can get into do-it-yourself gear. And for me, that was really the only sensible route, because I like gear specific to my needs, and I found the only way to get that is to make it myself. The other aspect of that is that part of the reason I chose to go this more minimalist route was just the commercial aspect of things, just trying to reduce my gear, reduce my dependence on, or my supposed, imagined dependence on certain components of gear. And so I wanted to eliminate a lot of things, see what I could leave behind, see what I didn't actually need. And so, the route of do-it-yourself really, kind of complemented that for me. So anyhow, enough rambling about that. We're going to start getting into the pack now. I'm just going to take items out, and we're going to, I'm going to do a quick overview of them as we go along, like I said, so we don't have to break this into multiple parts of, a cook set video, a sleep set, or a sleep system video, all that. I'm just going to kind of real quickly go over this. It is probably still going to run a little bit in length, and so we may break this into 2 or 3 parts, just to give you a good solid look and a good solid look at some other options as well as we go along here. So anyway, let's get going on this. I'm just going to start, I'm going to show you the pack as we go along, but I am just going to start removing, the components, so it's going to almost be in no particular order, just kind of as we go here. So this is a lumbar pack that I picked up at a thrift store for $5, okay? If I would have bought this new, spending the money, I probably wouldn't have chose the purple and green color, not my favorite, but I'm not necessarily a fashionista when I'm out in the woods, so not too big of a deal. So it is this. It does have 2 side water bottle holders, which is terrific. It's a really nice little pack here. So this is what I'm starting out. This is the foundation of my system here. And one thing I do want to say really quickly is, if you don't want to go this route, you can go the backpack route, and you can still go super ultra lightweight. Now, this is a pack that I made myself. I've got a video review on it, and you know, you can buy a pack like this, or you can make one yourself if you're so inclined. Kind of the irony here is this pack, if I was to use the same gear using this backpack, I would actually be losing weight because this pack weighs 5.2 ounces and this pack weighs 10 ounces. So just ironically, I would be you know, shaving off half my pack, the weight of my pack alone, just by going to my pack. And packing would be a little bit easier. You know, some of the gear choices would have been a little bit easier because you just don't have to fit them into this contained system. With that said, I do love this pack, and I loved that trip with not having a backpack on my back. I cannot overemphasize how freeing that was. Just the you know, freedom of motion, the range of motion, not having to strip the pack off your back every time you take a break, the ability to do things, you know, such as stop at the stream and fish along the way, you know, without having to take the pack off. You just had everything there. It was terrific. So really like this setup. I love it. I wish I could extend it out into more scenarios. It is fairly limited, you know, to certain scenarios, you know, such as summer, weather conditions, you know, things like that. So anyway, I am already rambling here, so let's just get going on this gear, guys. Okay, first of all, water bottle that I carry. This is just a Powerade water bottle. This is the smaller version. And one of the reasons I was able to go with just a single bottle and of this size was that I had unlimited access to water. I was hiking near a river the entire time. I was, you know, yeah, so unlimited water supply. I was able to get along with just this bottle. Now, if I want or didn't have as much and needed more water carrying capabilities, I could step up to a larger bottle. Now, this bottle, you'll notice, I could go with a bigger Powerade bottle, but it will not fit in my pocket. And so this bottle, still the same, 32 ounces, and it slides right in the holder. So that increases my water carrying capabilities. So there's that. And okay, we'll take this off over here. What we have here is just a microfleece vest. Didn't need this on that trip that I did the video on, but contingency factor, important, you know, to have warmth. Hypothermia is definitely a big killer in the outdoors, and so this little microfleece jacket coming in at 10 ounces was definitely you know, something good to carry along. If you're, you know, like I said, weight, compactness is also a factor, so I could carry my full microfleece jacket if, you know, that's what I wanted to do, and there'd be more room in my standard traditional backpack for that. One of the, let's see, moving over here, something I wanted to show you guys, and you can see this is attached to the pack. One of the things I wanted to show you on this pack was that on each hip strap here, each hip pad, it has pockets, and so you can use these to stuff you know, incidental gear or snacks in. I myself like to carry a fairly significant amount of food with me, snacks, meals, whatever it is. I like to eat a lot. I'm very active, and so I like to have the, you know, the nutrition along. So this is my snack bag. I just keep it attached, as you saw, to the front of the pack where I have easy access on the trail to it. And just a quick look at some of the things that I carry in there. You know, just a Cliff Bar, some peanut butter packets, love these things, good, quick energy, some peanut butter crackers, just sorted odds and ends like that. I do carry different water additives. This just happens to be Propel. It actually is a good source of vitamins, you know, C and B, so it's, you know, replaces some of the electrolytes you lost as well. Decent little addition to the snack bag there. So there's that. Now this was also attached, and at first glance this may seem like a little bit of a gimmicky or novelty item, and in a sense maybe it is, but it's actually kind of cool too. What I've got here is a whistle, so you know, a signaling device in case I get into some trouble, get injured, you know, what have you. Just a way to attract attention. It has a built-in liquid-filled compass, which is actually fairly accurate, surprisingly accurate when tested against my other compasses and GPS. This thing's actually dead on, which is pretty cool. And it also has a little thermometer, which really is great for letting me know exactly to a point how miserable I am, whether it's too cold or too hot. So that's always fantastic. Moving on, in the second water bottle holder on this side, I just use this to carry my stove. There's a few other things in here which we'll get to. But this is the cook kit. This is the entire cook kit that I bring with this particular system. Now you're going to notice this is pretty small, of course, and it had to be for this system. I could have went with foods that were required no cooking, but I like a good meal. I like to eat well when I'm in the outdoors, and you know, there's no reason to sacrifice that with this type of system. So got a little stuffed sack there. This is just my cozy for the pot here. And the one thing I wanted to say about this pot, this was actually an amazing idea that I got from a good friend, John, and that is Rainbow Hiker. You may want to check out his channel. Actually, he's got some really good videos on backpacking and lightweight gear options, DIY stuff. He's one of the masters out there at stoves as well, the alcohol stoves and the wood burning stoves. So anyway, give John a look out on his channel. He's got some good stuff. And once again, John, thank you. This actually was the perfect solution for my pack here. And what this is it is a Blue Diamond almond can. And yeah, so it essentially, I didn't include this in the price. It was free because like the almonds that were in it, I would have bought them anyway. So there is that. This entire kit weighs 2.4 ounces, and that is with the pot, the lid, the cozy, I've got a utensil in here, the stove, everything. So what we got, some people like to put tinfoil lids on these. That's fine. I noticed they blow off in the wind. I don't like messing with them. So I took a cheap pie container and just cut out a circle and form fit it into a lid. It fits nice and tight on there and doesn't blow away. The utensil that I've got in here is just a foldable cheap spoon. You know, not really relying on this, but if it breaks, I can still use it. I do have a backup utensil in my pack as well. I've got some matches here. I have a little scouring pad to keep things clean. I have my little alcohol stove. Now this is just you know, a soda can type stove. What I did with this one was went with those little 8-ounce cans of V8 and just made it so it's basically just a downsized version of that. Super ultra lightweight on that. Now I have two different things here for a windscreen. I've just got the aluminum foil windscreen, and I also have this little stand that I made. Now the reason that I made the stand was I noticed that my stove burns more efficiently with this pot and actually heats the water up faster when I use it in conjunction with the stand. It also has a built-in wind screen protector, as you can tell, made out of just some cut pop can, aluminum can. So there's that. And then just got the little primer pan for getting your stove primed up there. And that's about that on the cook kit. One thing I do want to say real fast is you've noticed that that pot is fairly small, and it does limit your cooking capabilities. So if you want to step up, you know, you can go with, there's so many good things on the market, but just in keeping with my lightweight or low cost approach rather, I picked this little pot up. I think it's some type of pot for melting chocolate, you know, fondue type stuff. I just picked it up at Walmart for a couple dollars, and super ultra lightweight. This thing's coming in at like 2.5 ounces, but it carries about 2.5 cups of water, so definitely increases your capabilities for cooking meals. So there we have the option for that. That is the cook system. And I think we're actually going to take a minute here to transition into the next part of this video. So I hope you've enjoyed this so far, and I look forward to seeing you in the second part here.